Hello and good morning, and thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. I am your host, Queen Tulsa, and today we have a beautiful lineup for you. We have Trey Songz, we have Chris Brown, we have Beyonce, we have Nicki Minaj, we have Lawrence Fishburne, and we also have the controversial Ts Madison and Shanquella. It has definitely taken a turn on the internet and narratives are being spent, but clarification is given. Go ahead and read the description and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. We are here bright and early. I definitely want to do some housekeeping. Good morning, Lindsay. How are you? Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you for definitely showing up for the show. How are you? Thank you for coming out. There we go. We got an echo. All right. So, to get right into the news, I definitely want to thank you all. If you are a new subscriber, I want to thank you for subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, definitely thank you for returning and thank you for your loyalty. Today, we will be discussing hot topics on this beautiful Monday. Okay. And absolutely, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. So we definitely want to, if you do celebrate Thanksgiving, we want to send you great, 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 great Thanksgiving wishes and energy being around your family. Now, our daily devotional for November 21st, 2022. Know what you believe. The Bible is our protection against deception. 2 Timothy 1:12 through 14. All people have a belief system, whether they realize it or not. Even those who claim there is no God have faith that he does not exist. Some base their convictions on what fits their lifestyle, reasoning, and desires. Jesus followers, however, are called to base their lives on the authority of God's word. Anytime we add other philosophies or ideas to scriptures or pick and choose which parts of the Bible to believe, we create our own version of faith based on personal reasoning. God's word is a true and reliable foundation for belief because it contains the recorded thoughts of an eternal, all knowingly God. Any other concepts must be measured against God's word to determine its validity. Knowing what the Bible says is essential for developing a sound system of beliefs founded on the truth and wisdom of the Lord. This world will offer you a variety of philosophies, but a faith anchored in the Bible is your protection against deception. Each time you face a problem or a decision, search the scriptures for help in coming up with the answer. Begin your day by reading the word and ask God to help you understand what He is saying. He loves communicating with you and He will make Himself known. All right, guys, so that's our daily devotional. Oh, absolutely. If you are out there, you needed a word of encouragement. I hope you're encouraged. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. All right, so first up, we have my brother Trey Songz. Okay. Now, Trey Songz is back in the news, guys. Trey Songz denies beating woman in NYC. Police report filed. And this was on November 19th of 2022. Trey Songz is on the police's radar in New York after a woman claims he brutalized her last month. A claim he's calling BS on. TMZ has learned. NYPD sources tell us the alleged victim filed a report in late October claiming Trey punched her in the face repeatedly while inside a bowling alley bathroom. We're told she also alleges Ts dragged her. Oh, wow. We're also told that Trey Songz dragged her by her hair and that she was taken to the hospital for what cops noted were visible minor injuries. Our sources say the woman is a worker and at this establishment, but it's unclear what might have precipitated this. There's not much context beyond her account, although our sources say the woman recognized Trey and identified him by name to the police after the fact. In any case, we're told there's now an active case for this, and the cops are interested in talking to Trey at the very least. This is certainly not the greatest news for him, considering other accusations hurled at him these past few years. An NYPD spokesperson confirms to TMZ that the investigation into this is ongoing. As we reported, Trey was sued for the R word recently, but the case was dismissed over a statute of limitations. There have been other instances of alleged sexual inappropriate attributed to the singer as well, all of which he's denied and characterized as a shakedown. He's also been accused of being violent with people, including women, in the past. Mitchell Socher, Trey's legal rep, tells TMZ. A source close to the investigation informs us that Trey Songz has been cooperative with authorities and expects that when all the evidence is reviewed, he will be exonerated. This is another instance where those involved try to blame the celebrity with hopes of getting fame or riches. Now, listen here, no shade to anybody, but if people are saying stories, and all this is allegedly, I don't know this any of this to be true, but I just want to send out to Trey Songz. It's just like, at a certain time, people are going to start scratching their heads and saying, well, how much of this is accurate, you know and we're in an era where people are coming forward, people are, you know, more confident, after the Me Too movement, people have gotten a voice, being that reparations for certain individuals have been met. And if there is something going on, we definitely suggest that all parties seek professional help. We don't know what's going on. This is all, you know, assumptions. This is just, I mean, prayers to the family and Trey Songz. Hopefully he can stay out of the mess. Okay. Now we have next up, we have Chris Brown, right? We know him from being at the Grammys and all of the things. Well, unfortunately, Chris Brown wasn't able to make it to the AMAs this year. For what reasons, we do not know. However, we do have something to share with you all because, we didn't get to go. We didn't get to see that performance. So, without further ado, we're going to go on a quick commercial break because, we have to pay some bills around here. I want to thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. We'll be back after these messages. All right, we've come to the point in time. Oh, wow, things are getting a little shaky around here. Well, guess what? It's time for an intermission. And also, it's time for an offering. So, however you can give the offering, we'd appreciate it. Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. Today, we are having a great time. So, go ahead and hurry up and get back to the show. All donations are appreciated. Okay. All right. So as you can see right here, we can't play the music, but you see Chris Brown practicing for his 40th anniversary to Thriller. And somehow he was snubbed. Don't know what happened, what went on. There's reports out there that, the family, didn't approve of it, or the family had something, you know, they were against it. But this is my thing. What other person to have give recognition to the king than Chris Brown? When you talk about the moves, when you talk about, you know, from tragedy to treating life better, being happy. And I think that's what it's all about. Chris Brown, I just say here at Queen Tulsa, if you want to come by here and perform and let us know what you were going to do at the AMAs, we would love to have you here. Absolutely. We'll give you a platform right on over. Okay. Absolutely. And the sirens will be going off. All right. So next up, we have Lawrence Fishburne, guys. And Lawrence Fishburne is in the news. Oh, yes. And actually, you know what? Before we move on to, actually, no, we're going to go ahead. Thank you. All right, we got Lauren Fishburne up. Thank you, producers, for handling what we needed. All right, let's take it back. This is, in 1993. Okay. Lawrence Fishburne. Fishburne sought balance in trying to be like Ike. I'm just trying to help Ike, all right? You trying to help Ike. I ain't the one motherfucking need help. Oh, sorry, guys. It's certainly one of the greatest roles of the summer. Ike Turner, the Svagani who discovered and shaped and then abused Tina Turner, and has become the decade symbol of man's inhumanity to woman. But Lauren Fishburne, who made make himself a major movie star with the performance of his life, wasn't sure up front. When I tell people I was playing Ike, he remembers, I started hearing the great big bad Ike stories. I pulled a gun on so and so, or Ike slapped this woman, or Ike cursed out this man, or that. But I knew I had to find another side to Ike. But where to look? I looked at the old tapes of Ike and Tina, but Ike wasn't really prominent. You just see him in the background watching, controlling, but he didn't have that dynamic stage presence. So I had a license to create something. So Fishburne decided to try and find the Ike between the lines of the stories and the book. There had to be some charm there, some wit, some fun. That's how he attracted her in the first place before he began abusing her. And he was a genius. He was way ahead of his time. He was the first one to incorporate dance steps into his band's routine and to put a woman out front. From the very start, he knew how to distinguish himself from the others. But during the heyday of Ike and Tina Turner, Fishburne never listened to the music. To me, he recalls, it was grown folks' music. I was into the Stones, Jethro Tull, Muddy Waters. How does one go about playing the man who is about to become the decade's most famous wife beater in a huge movie? I tried to find out the way his mind worked and understand the source of his anger. It was actually sort of like the Frankenstein story. He created something, but once he feels he's lost control, he tries to erase it. Ike even came by one day to check this new dude out. He was kind of curious. He looked at me dressed up as him and just said, "Do a good job, man." The movie, which involved many scenes of of intimate domestic violence, was grueling to make for Fishburne. I just had to be very careful not to take it home with me. I had to leave Ike on the set. It was hard, but it was necessary to make that conscious separation at the end of the day. That he succeeded is evident everywhere, even in the rumors of Oscar nominations that have begun to circulate. But then it's clearly Fishburne's time. The actor has worked nearly steadily in films since the late 70s, when, as a gangling 14-year-old kid, his dead on imitation of Mick Jagger convinced Francis Ford Coppola to give him a prominent role in Apocalypse Now. But there have been downs too. At one point, nearly destitute, he went to a party at the Coppola's Harry Dean Stanton, the great old character actor, came up to him and handed him an envelope. From one working actor to another, Stanton said. When Fishburne got home, he was delighted to find a $100 bill that got him through the week. Slowly working his way up the ladder, he was in death wish too. He admits with a rural tone he gradually begun to get better and better parts. Films like King of New York, where he was T.C. Beretta touting drug hitman until he truly broke through in John Singleton's Boys in the Hood, where he played Furious Styles, the father who almost single handedly saved his son from the drug wars, and Deep Cover, where he was a DEA agent who went so far under he almost couldn't make it back out. And now Ike. But in an actor's life, the one certainty is uncertainty. What's your next job? I don't know, man. I'm out of work. One doubts he'll stay that way long. Okay. So listen, the reason why I brought that article up is because I wanted to give you like the backstory or the history on Lawrence Fishburne, you know, and his way into the industry, right? Okay, so we are going to go ahead and pull up something that I feel like is relevant to this conversation. And shout out to the Jasmine brand for capturing this beautiful, intimate, vulnerable moment with Lawrence Fishburne. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and bring up Lawrence Fishburne.
So how do you emotionally handle the fact that you are playing somebody who is an abuser?
Having had some experience with that as a young man, I did a lot of counseling. I found a great African American therapist who helped me deal with my anger issues because I had been physical with my first wife. I got married when I was 23 years old. My first wife was 21, and our relationship was very volatile. And I was physically abusive with my first wife, to my regret and to my shame.
Mhm.
Um, and because of that, I had to go and look for some help. I had to find a therapist. And I worked with this man for 4 or 5 years on all of those issues. So I was very familiar with the territory and with the emotional landscape of what, brings a person to that place where they feel the need to be abusive to their partner. And so, that's another reason why, I said to the director, like, we can only do this a limited amount of time. This is not emotional territory that I want to be swimming in all day. I don't want Angela swimming in it all day. I don't want people on set having to deal with that kind of, volatile, emotional kind of stuff all day while we're trying to make a film.
Mm. Um, for you, did you ever figure out what was the source of your anger? What was bringing that out of you?
I didn't really specifically work on the source of my anger. It was really about how to recognize it when it was coming up, what my triggers were, and what were the behaviors that I could use that would counter it, that would help me to move in a different direction, as opposed to thinking that being violent or angry or overbearing or intimidating or any of that were going to actually resolve whatever the issue.
The story is based off Tina's biography. You're in the middle of that too. So how do you emotionally handle the fact that you are playing somebody who is an abuser?
All right. So there you have it. And I think that this is very informative because, a lot of people are influenced by certain things. And being an actress, I do know it's like when you are in that moment and you are channeling that role, the scene, the, you want the effects of that moment, right? And so I definitely understand. And shout out to, Lawrence Fishburne for going out and getting the help that he deserved, So shout out to him. Now, guys, we are going to go over to Beyonce. Okay, and Beyonce snubbed the honey. She went to the got her AMAs and she got all that she wanted, right? All right, so let's see who won at the American Music Awards. All right, the 50th American Music Awards took place on Sunday night at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. The show, produced by Dick Clark Productions and ABC, was hosted by Wayne Brady. The star-studded event celebrated the year's best music and performances as voted on by fans. Puerto Rican performer Bad Bunny topped the list of nominees this year with the most nods, earning 8, including his four artists of the year. He ended up taking home 2 awards for favorite male Latin artist and favorite Latin album for On Versano Senti. Okay. The night belonged to Taylor Swift, however, who won in all 6 categories, for which she nominated, including Artist of the Year. The night's top honor, the win cemented Swift as the most decorated artist in AMA's history with 40 career wins. Girl, talk about it. You know, Performers who took the AMA stage include Pink, who opened up the show, as well as Dove Cameron, Lil Baby, BB Rexa, Carrie Underwood, Imagine Dragons, and others. Lionel Richie, a 17-time AMA winner, was honored with the Icon Award for his career contributions to the music industry. Charlie Puth, Stevie Wonder, and other artists gave a heartfelt tribute performance for Richie. The show announced some of the winners prior to the broadcast. Elton John took home his First AMA win since 1988 for Best Collaboration with Dua Lipa, becoming the longest recognized artist in the awards show history. He was first nominated for an AMA in 1974. Talk about history. Talk about a long run. Talk about I'm not going to give up. Okay, so the category was Artist of the Year. The nominations are Adele, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Drake, Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, The Weeknd. And guys, guess who took that award home? Taylor Swift. Yeah, she took out Adele, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Drake, Harry Styles, and The Weeknd. All right, so the new Artist of the Year went to the nominees are Steve Lacy, Manskin, Lotto, Gale, Dove Cameron. New Artist of the Year goes to Dove Cameron. All right, there you go. Collaboration of the Year. Okay. And as we stated, the nominees are The Kid, Laroi, and Justin Bieber, Stay. Lil Nas X featuring Jack Harlow, Industry Baby. Future featuring Drake and Tim's, Wait for You. Elton John, Dua Lipa, Cold Heart. PNAU remix. Okay. And Honey, Carolina Godson, Moro Castro, Adasa, Renez, Feliz, Diane Guerrero, Stephanie Beatrice, and Encardo Coast. We don't talk about Bruno. The winner was Elton John and Dua Lipa, Cold Heart. Okay, get into it. Favorite male pop artist. The nominees are Bad Bunny, Drake, Ed Sheeran, Harry Styles, and The Weeknd. The winner is Harry Styles. Favorite female pop artist. Nominees are Adele, Beyonce, Doja Cat, Lizzo, and Taylor Swift. Well, Taylor Swift has swiftly come back and collected this one as well. Favorite pop duo or group? BTS, Coldplay, Imagine Dragons, Manskin, One Republic. The winner is BTS. Favorite pop album? The nominees are Adele, 30, Bad Bunny, On Vernado, Cinti, okay, Beyonce, Renaissance, Harry Styles, Harry's House, Taylor Swift, Red Taylor's Version, The Weeknd, Dawn FM. Well, swiftly, Taylor Swift swept that one right in her buggy as well. Favorite pop song? Adele, Easy on Me, Carolina Godson, Maro Castillo, Adasa, Renza, Feliz, Diane Guerrero, Stephanie Beatriz, and Encanto Cas. We don't talk about Bruno. Harry Styles, As It Was, Lizzo, About Damn Time, The Kid, Leroy, and Justin Bieber, Stay. The winner is Harry Styles. Favorite music video. The nominees are Adele, Easy on Me, Bad Bunny featuring Chincho Carlino, Mi Porto Bonito, Harry Styles, As It Was, Lil Nas X featuring Jack Harlow, Industry Baby, Taylor Swift, All Too Well. Well, it's all too well that she would scoop that one up as well. Taylor Swift takes that one home as well. Favorite male country artist. Chris Stapleton, Jody Johnson, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Walker Hayes. The winner is Morgan Wallen. Favorite female country artist, Carrie Underwood, Lainey Wilson, Maren Morris, Miranda Lambert, Taylor Swift. Well, Taylor has swiftly joined right back around and retrieved this award as well. Favorite country group or duo, Dan and Shay, Lady A, Old Dominion, Parma Lee, Zach Brown Band. Well, the winner is Dan and Shay. Favorite male hip hop artist. The nominees are Drake, Future, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Baby, Lil Durk. And the winner is Kendrick Lamar. Favorite female hip hop artist. Cardi B, Glorilla, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. Y'all, shout out to Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj had come through and she retrieves her award. Okay? Shout out to Nicki. Nicki, I know it's been a long time coming, and people aren't trying to give you your due diligence and pay their respects, where it's due. Okay? So now we go to the favorite hip hop song. Future featuring Drake and Tim's Wait for You. We have Jack Harlow, First Class. Kodak Black, Super Gremlin. We have Lotto, Big Energy. And Lil Nas X, Jack featuring Jack Harlow, Industry Baby. And the winner is Future featuring Drake and Tim's Wait for You. All right, so favorite male R&B artist, Brent Fanias, Chris Brown, Giveon, Lucky Day, The Weeknd. Child, Chris Brown definitely took that one for the win. The winner is Chris Brown. And your favorite female R&B artist, the nominees are Beyonce, Doja Cat, Mooney Long, Summer Walker, SZA. You already know, Queen B. Wrap that right on up in the basket, okay? Favorite rock artist, Machine Gun Kelly, Imagine Dragons, Manskin, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the Lumineers. Machine Kelly was the winner. Shout out to him. Okay? And child, the list goes on and on. But now let's go ahead and get into good morning. How are you, Mississippi Magnolia? Well, we're now about to enter into the Black Girl Magic. Okay? There's been a lot of people really just trying to stir things up with the
Having
Black
had some
girls,
experience with that as a young man.
and, try to put us against each other. And I want to say this because this really stuck out to me. This really stuck out to me. And it's like, people, when are you guys going to get it? But shout out to Kelly Rowland for always standing in her truth, being beautiful and unapologetically. So we have Kelly Rowland. She's about to let us know what the situation is. But before we get into her commentary, let's go ahead and go on a commercial break as we have to pay the bills. All right, we've come to the point in time. Oh, wow, things are getting a little shaky around here. Well, guess what? It's time for an intermission. And also, it's time for an offering. So, however you can give the offering, we'd appreciate it. Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. Today, we are having a great time. So, go ahead and hurry up and get back to the show. All donations are appreciated. Okay, so I do want to bring awareness to colorism and people that spew rhetoric in the community, and they think it's all fun and games to sit and play in your face, right? Well, Kelly Rowland says, not today, not on my watch, and wait 1 second. So let's go ahead and get into Kelly Rowland really showing you what your Black Girl Magic does when you stand up. You take back your ownership. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition out here, it's a coalition. We're all out here grinding and wanting the best for ourselves and our family and our loved ones. We just out here trying to make it and be great citizens along the way. You know what I'm saying? But people want to pit us against each other. So without further ado, let me give Kelly Rowland the mic.
You've had such an interesting run for so many reasons. You and Angie just had a great conversation on her podcast about Angie gave you flowers for your ability to play second to Beyonce, which for so many, everyone who gets, I can only speak for me, everyone who gets in the entertainment business gets into it to be the man, right? Just me working with Ebro takes my own ego.
Hates it.
Yeah, hates it. It's my own. My ego has to be in check, even though when he's not here, I'm like, you know what? I kind of prefer Ebro come back. But it does take an ego check, and you happen to be standing next to the brightest light on planet Earth. Like, you think Big Boy from Outkast has it tough being next to Andre. You're with Beyonce, and not only did you not like fight it, it seems like you really loved the position that you were in and took it seriously. And
here's the thing. Light attracts light. I am light. So I am a beautiful brown shining light. So I don't think anybody's light dims anyone else's. I think that when other people start to compare you, I think that that's when it shows how dim they are of themselves. So I don't take somebody else trying to dim my light anymore for anybody else. I love B. I know that she's a light, but I know that I'm a light too.
But it's also created such an interesting role for you where, like, you could have rested on your laurels and just been like, hey, I'm a part of this iconic group. My best friend's the biggest star in the world. We kick ass. We're awesome.
Yes,
but
and her best friend / sister is one of the big stars in the world too.
Yes.
So it's like people only see things one-sided. You know what I mean? So I don't like when they just put one person in one place. Like, we both shine together. I'm shining with Marseille. We're shining together.
Right.
It's always been like patriarchy to me, or even now, like everybody's actually taking the hit of and start to believe this thing where, well, only one woman can do this and they shine the biggest.
Right.
My sister has knocked down doors and made positions for so many women that look like her, that are deeper shades than her or are brighter or whatever, but specifically for Black women, and put Black women in other places that, you know, we're grateful for. You know what I mean? But also somebody else did that for her, and another group has done that for us.
And you're doing that for other people.
I do it for other brown girls. So it's just a cycle and a space for all of us to open up doors for each other instead of compare. Don't be so limited. And I feel like people who compare are limited in their minds, and they limit themselves. And so don't do that to other people.
Well, and do you think that people see it as in the world, and this is what, no matter your career, whatever you're in, that especially for Black folks, right?
Yes.
Like, there's limited slots.
Yes.
Right. And so we living in a time right now where it doesn't feel like there's as many limited slots. It doesn't have to be a one.
It doesn't.
Right. It could be 100. It could be, different roles. But people, I think, because of ego, like you pointed out, right? People get in the game to be the biggest star, whatever. They don't really know why they're wanting what they want, or they don't know why they're uncomfortable next to the person that they're uncomfortable next to, right?
Right.
That's, you grew up in a familial, like, that's your family.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, it's not just coworkers.
Yes.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
My family. Like,
and so
we're there for each other's children's birth.
Right.
Like, you don't understand what I'm saying? Like, it's deeper than that. And it was a time where, one is young and you listen to the rest of the way the rest of the world thinks, and you might adopt some of that thinking too.
Right.
And I can definitely say, yes, I adopted some of that thinking. And then it had to take maturity and being in my own space, loving my own space, and realizing my own power and what I bring to the table. And if you don't know what you bring to the table, then you just gonna be lost.
That's the part.
Yes.
That's the part that I think a lot of people struggle
and you'll
with.
act like it, you'll talk like it. It's just,
How do you continue to work so hard? Because you clearly bust your ass in the acting world. You're so successful though. Like, Mike Tyson once famously said, it's hard to get up and run at 5 a.m. when you're waking up in satin sheets. You've been waking up in satin sheets for a very long time. And yet you continue to wake up and just keep going back and want to build and improve as an actor. What motivates you to want to keep grinding?
Because I want to get great. I want to be great at it. I don't want to just be okay at it. You know what I mean? I think that there's so many levels to it too. Like, when you're acting, or when you're producing, or when you're directing, like, and you're figuring out all these like creative spaces that you're like, oh, I find that interesting. Well, let me read up about it. Let me ask this person about it. And then you want to like be great at it. So I just want to wake up and be great at it, whatever.
So Marseille, when you see this convo, right? I think you're 18 years old, and you
Okay, so shout out to Kelly Rowland for always standing up and standing in her truth. And speaking of standing up in her truth, we have another message for you. Shout out to TMZ. This is where we are getting the information. Well, this particular clip is coming from TMZ. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Production has finally got us on board. So here we are. This is Kelly Rowland actually accepting Chris Brown's award at the AMAs on his behalf. Like we told, for some odd reason, he was uninvited. But let's get into the video.
American Music Award goes to Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown is not here tonight, so I'm accepting this award on his behalf. Excuse me, chill out. But I want to tell Chris, thank you so much for making great R&B music. And I want to tell him, thank you for being an incredible performer. I'll take this award, bring it to you. I love you. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the nominees in this category. American Music Award goes to Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown is not here tonight, so I'm accepting this award on his behalf. Excuse me, chill out. But I want to tell Chris, thank you so much for making great R&B music. And I want to tell him, thank you for being an incredible performer. I'll take this award, bring it to you. I love you. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the Music Award goes to Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown is not here tonight, so I'm accepting this award on his behalf. Excuse me, chill out. But I want to tell Chris, thank you so much for making great R&B music. And I want to tell him, thank you for being an incredible performer. I'll take this award, bring it to you. I love you.
I really felt like that was very heartfelt. I really do. I really, 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 really do. Now, I do want to say this. You know, I'm not sure what happened with Chris Brown or whatever that went on behind the scenes. But one thing you can't take away from the man is his talent. The guy is definitely very talented, and I mean, he's had his fair share of ups and downs, and I think that he's really living his best life. Well, now I want to come over here to a viral sensation. Shanquella Robinson has went viral since her unalivement. And the people are just really going in. The people are going in because they are seeing that Ts Madison is trying to make this about her. New video, Ts Madison, no transgender woman beat her to death. It was one of her own. And a lot of people got, you know, itchy in the rear because she made that statement. But when you look at it, everybody refers to a certain group of people like that in their communities. Oh, even if it's the gays, or even if it's even down to religious, but it's like this woman had come out and clarified. Ts Madison came out and clarified that, this is what she meant by it. And, it is what it is. She didn't take anything back, which I don't feel like she should have, because the statement wasn't, oh my God, this. It's some people out there that are committed to looking and finding something, a fault in any and everything that you do. And it could be like the simplest, but in this point, it really was a nitpicking, because I was actually wrong on my information when I had reported, okay, it was a trans woman. But this is the thing, if you watch my video, I wanted to hold my sister accountable. And the way that I was going about it maybe was not the right ways, but I was frustrated. I was angry because this is not how we carry on. Me and my girls, that's not our thing. We don't go out looking for fights or anything like that. Now, if you put your hands on us, we are going to put our hands on you. And it doesn't matter who you are. You cannot go around here putting your hands on people and wanting an excuse. Now, T.S. Madison had went on Pastor Jay Wilson's page, and we had a brother that had previously been violent to a black woman. Now he's a black man, but he was violent to a black woman, and this black man comes up on the panel and tries to stir the pot and tries to throw a narrative in there, like, oh my God, so a trans, so you saying a trans can fight a woman? Is that fair? Is that fair? And it was really triggering. But what we wanted to know was it fair for you to be engaged with a woman and then you to pull out a weapon? Now, help me understand here. Now, are you for protecting women, or are you for assaulting them? I need to know. I need to know. And T.S. Madison, she did not go out with a threatening message. She did not go out looking to harm or harass this woman. She was bringing light to it. A lot of people are feeling ways in their feelings about this, because this is deep. It's been going on for too long. All over $1. All because you want some shine. We just had Trans Day of Remembrance. And for people to go in, I mean, for whoever made that, try to take that, try to make us trans women take the fault for that assault. I was standing up like, sis, we don't rock like that in our community. Whatever myths you've heard, that's not how we rock. We're protectors. We're protectors first. If anybody knows discrimination, it's trans women of color. You think black women have to work 10 times harder? Be black and trans and see how that rolls out for you. Hey, Couture, how are you? How do you guys feel about Ts Madison's comment? It was one of her own. I agree, it was one of her own. What's the problem with saying it was one of her own? It was one of her own. It was one of her own friends. It was one of her own enemies. It was one of her own jealous individuals of her in her community, in her circle, one of her own in her circle. Several people. Several people. And this is the thing. I want to make something clear. Ts Madison is not worried about all the name calling and all that. She's very confident in herself. She knows who she is. So, like, when you guys want to say, oh, a man this, a man that, you're just simply ignorant and you don't want to give what's free. And that's respect. And, it really makes you look like a buzzkill. Like, I would not want you at the party. You're not invited, right? I stand with Ts Madison. I will rock and roll with her. I sure will. But then listen, I want to read some of these tweets. So, daily agenda. Okay, here we go. More of them. Peter Thomas visits. Yeah. Ts Madison talks passing. Oh wow. Let's see what they're talking about. Oh girl.
Make sure you hit that like.
Girl, okay, this is clickbait, so we're not gonna do that. This is it. Oh wow, clickbait. Oh my god, the womanizer of them all. Yeah, that's what happened. She was blasting the real, like, because they always want to put us in this block. Oh, you're not a real woman. Oh, you wasn't born with this. Oh, you wasn't born with that. So that's what it was. That's what it was. That was my point. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My thing is, that's what it was. It was the real women. Like, okay, so the cisgender women. So the women that makes it obvious, oh, I have a birth canal. Oh, I got ovaries. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. The ones that be, really promoting their bodies for everybody to know what they have and what they don't have, right? Oh, I can birth a baby. Well, sis, you sound a little ignorant, right? You sound a little ignorant because you need somebody to help part to help. You need somebody else's to get what you need, right? So, what's the difference? It's adoption, it's surrogacy, it's all, you name it. But this is the root of it. It's people that simply they are going off what they were taught, you know? Simply. Simply that. Get into it. All right. Couture Bay says, sure, would it? Lindsay says, no issue with her comments. Felt she shouldn't have said anything because as hard as she worked to get into the spaces she has as trans, her Miami mouth will have her back to Queen's Court. Well, you know what? She could have worded that better. Okay, so listen, I'm gonna drop the link. Come up and tell me. Let's have an engagement because this is my thing. Y'all already know, like over here, I love my ladies, and y'all already know, like, I don't have issues with all women. Certain women that come at me, I go back at them. It's words, and that's just like, let's talk about how these men sit up and drag women on social media, and y'all aren't at their front doors with your picket signs and trying to take them down. Now that's something that we can talk about. Okay. So like if we're gonna call, we're gonna call a spade, let's go ahead and play. Let's be fair. It's all about being fair at the end of the day. Yes, and getting our mental together, People that's not serving us, get them people off and around us. We can't have the negative. I mean, well, we the negative to a certain extent, a negative to a certain extent, but I'm for all women. I'm for all women. Women aren't protected. My thing is the black community wants to divide the black community. I'm going to say that one more time. Some people in the black community, they want to divide the people in the black community. Some people have motives to come in and stir the pot, you know. All right, Lindsay says, you don't have to be an advocate for every case. You don't have to be an advocate for every cause. I wish Cardi B had a social media manager, far as much as she goes back and forth, but I don't feel Ts has that privilege yet. Well, I think Ts goes off the fact of this is how I got in the game. This is what you get. This is what you get. And this is, I think if some of you all like go and look at her videos like when she was first starting, she was in her vehicle, she was eating, she would take us on ride-alongs, or she would just take us on story time, or she might have a Whitney concert, or she might have a old, you just never knew what you were gonna get. And then you got Queen's Court or Queen Supreme Court, and then that really took off. But still, even though she never changed. She changed for the better, but as far as like creativity and being unfiltered has always been her mark to stardom. She wasn't the ones that's like, oh my God, let me not cuss, let me not be authentic, let me pretend to be something, that I'm not. Ts came out flamboyantly and hey, this is who I am and this is what it is. And I think that's where a lot of us was drawn to her to actually see. When you say reality and things like that, I think about Flavor of Love, I think about that whole franchise, Charm School, and you name it, but all that was scripted. So to see a woman be unfiltered, be unapologetically her, and be live loud and proud, that's what some people wanted and needed. But it's like when people elevate, yes, I understand certain people want to hold them to certain standards, but do we want them to really switch up? Because when they switch up, oh, you didn't switch up, oh, you think y'all that, and oh, now you acting different. Or, they're genuine, but they still have that unfiltered, and they're genuine, they elevated, but they still are unfiltered. It's like It's her channel. This is YouTube. She's not at a job right now, you know, and the people that work with her, you don't think that they see her social media or her YouTube channel and how she, you know, breaks it down? I mean, she's just an out loud girl. And a lot of people, this has been suppressed. And so now, when she says she's breaking down doors, yes, everybody's going to see her. Everybody's going to hear it. Lindsay says she's made it for the most part. She even says on her morning show that she has to watch what she says. She had a moment, but all she needs is a reason to be canceled. Agree. But the Maddie mob, they rise, child. Lindsay says, as trans, that's the reason to make it harder for her to get into spaces she has. Popping off at the mouth, just a reason to cancel when it's really because she's trans. She said, don't give them ammo, TS. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I guess where I'm coming from is we have to call a spade a spade. Like, if we don't identify the problem, if we keep covering things up and really not addressing it, how are things really gonna get done? You know, I agree with her 100%. I want her to stay real. I want her to stay raw. But I feel like if it doesn't affect her when she's on a set for a movie and it's not affecting her lines, then I'm okay with it. Because it's not a lot of women, not a lot of trans women that you can see vocally, verbally express themselves. You know, I do it, you know, now that I've got my channel. Yeah. Everyone's allowed to fall short sometimes, though. I understand where she's coming from. Okay, I get it. So pretty much navigating certain topics, you say, hey, I'm going to send a PR to answer that. Because that's how I'm going to be one day. You know, I'm not going to be on here going back and forth with the comments. I'm going to send my PR. You know, we're going to do a thumbnail, and Queen Tulsa breaks her silence. Y'all know I love that hashtag. Queen Tulsa breaks her silence. And you guys are going to be looking for me to say something, and I'm going to come on camera. And my PR person is going to come up, and I'm going to step aside. And honey, that's how it's going to be done. Because I'm not going to address it anymore, you know? So how do you guys feel about the hot topics? Could you get used to the hot topics? Let me know. Listen here, we have been here for an hour, and I really, really, really appreciate you. I wanted to give you your daily devotional and your hot topics at the beginning of the day, okay? The middle of the day, or wherever you are. If you are the replay gang, I definitely appreciate you for watching. Please make sure we are liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, okay? And if nobody wants to call in, I guess that concludes our show, guys. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. I'm your host, Queen Tulsa. Have a good morning. Hello, and thank you all for coming out to the Queen Tulsa show. It was all a dream. We finally made it. Listen, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. You have come to the place where you can relax, enjoy, and get the hot topics. We can also engage. You can come up, or even you can call in. That number is 725-888-1644. Thank you so much for your loyalty. We made it. I'm so excited. You should be too. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. Oh, and make sure you sign up for our perks to get